Thanks everyone. For a summary for 2008, what's been going on this year, we're a very small school. At the moment we're sitting on 5 grades and we have currently about 82 children. Our enrolment's been declining over the last couple of years and we're currently in the process of merging with a neighbouring school which is called Keon Park Primary. Our extent of involvement this year has been myself being trained as a learning leader. We've had Jeff Gowns with fantastic principal support. We have been members of the school improvement group, so our whole staff's been busy with, we've also gone through accreditation this year, and a lot of activity has been involved with the process of the merger. So there's only been Jeff and myself involved in this AIZ and getting it up and running in our school. Keon Park elected at the start of last year, beginning of this year, not to be involved in the AIZ project. So basically this year we have been concentrating on improving the literacy standards within our school and also to start implementing some of the developmental management strategies that Raymond Lewis has introduced to us. And we've streamlined our staff meetings, so the principal only gets a few minutes to speak at the start and the rest of the staff meetings have been towards professional learning and professional development. And what we've learnt in our training, I've done that with our staff, so we've done all the high reliability literacy teaching procedures in our staff meetings. I've also modelled all of those in our classrooms. We've had area meetings that have reflected on our practice, and the area meetings where we can come back and share our ideas. And all staff are now trialling the literacy strategies in our classroom. With the developmental management aspects of it, so far we've talked about that at our staff meetings, and we're starting to see some of those behaviour strategies actually happening in classrooms now. Now, looking towards our new school, which is going to be called Reservoir Views, so we've gone from Burbank Primary and Keon Park Primary. Our new entity is called Reservoir Views. That will be happening in 2009. So towards that end, to get that new school and our new identity operating, throughout this year we've had joint curriculum days where both staffs have come together, and we've had joint staff meetings, usually 2 or 3 a term depending on needs based on what needs to be organised. And the purpose of these joint meetings has been to develop an integrated planner for term 1, so that when we all arrive at the new school, every teacher knows exactly what they'll be teaching. We've been sharing and auditing resources. We've been planning experiences for students from both schools to share. And a large focus that we've tried to do this year is to make sure that both schools and all staff are involved in decision-making processes. Some of the challenges that we face and trying to implement AIZ this year is that with our new school we don't have the principals selected as yet, and that will be happening sometime this term, probably by about week 7 or 8. So all the existing personnel are trying to develop the plan for 2009, hoping that our new principal will take that on board and fit in with where we're up to at the moment. Another problem that we have is how to involve the Keon Park staff in all of this project, because as Wayne Craig was saying earlier, we've all been very lucky to have the PD delivered to us this year, but there are some schools that haven't had that as yet, so it will be one of our responsibilities to make sure that the new staff come on board with all the learning that has been presented to us. We were initially starting to think that for 2009 our new school focus would be on improving literacy, but after attending Raymond's PD and the focus of that for the 4 days, both of our schools have been thinking that I think the best place for us to start would be looking at the welfare and discipline policies from both schools. As they merge in together, we need common behaviour managements and discipline policies in place. So that will be our first starting point. We have to be very conscious of how new groups of students are going to react to each other, and we have to be very conscious that all of our classroom discipline policies and the schoolyard policies, how can they be improved upon? For the first time, many of us are going to be teaching new students. Many of the teachers in both of our schools have been at either one for at least 20 years or longer. So moving into new schools, you know from year to year, little Johnny's coming up and you know all about little Johnny. Well, you don't know for the first time for most of it, for most of the teachers. You'll be actually teaching lots of students that you don't know their background. We need to have a whole school approach to behavioural management and discipline. We need to have a whole school approach on being really positive, developing positive relationships, students, parents and colleagues. And everyone needs an understanding of the A, B, C and D students and their behaviour management issues.